In a small, remote village nestled between the golden savannas of Africa, lived a vibrant 7-year-old girl named Naomi Hossan. Naomi was a beacon of joy, her laughter ringing like chimes through the village air. Though young, she possessed a wisdom that transcended her years, a gift that stemmed from the teachings of her parents, who were among the few Muslims in the village. Naomi's parents had moved to this village years ago, hoping to share their faith with their new neighbors, but they were met with indifference, and sometimes hostility. Despite this, they remained kind and patient, living peacefully among the villagers. Naomi had inherited her parents' gentle demeanor. She was loved by everyone, even those who didn't share her faith. She would often spend her days under the baobab tree at the edge of the village, reciting verses from the Quran. The village children, curious and drawn to her melodic voice, would sit around her, listening intently. Though they didn't understand the words, the serenity that enveloped Naomi as she recited the verses left a deep impression on them. One day, Naomi fell ill. What started as a fever quickly worsened, and despite the efforts of the village healer, her condition continued to decline. Her parents, distraught, prayed fervently, trusting in Allah's will. The villagers, too, were concerned. Naomi had become an integral part of their lives, and the thought of losing her filled them with dread. As days passed, Naomi's condition deteriorated further. Her parents took turns sitting by her bedside, whispering prayers and comforting words. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm orange glow over the village, Naomi's breath grew shallow. Her mother cradled her, tears streaming down her face, while her father recited Surah Al-Fatiha softly, his voice trembling with emotion. In her final moments, Naomi opened her eyes, her gaze calm and focused. She smiled weakly at her parents, then turned her head to the window, where the first star of the evening had appeared in the sky. "Mama Baba," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I see the light. It's so beautiful. Don't cry, for I am going to Allah." With those words, Naomi took her last breath, leaving the village in a state of profound silence. The news of her passing spread quickly, and the villagers gathered around the Hossan family's home, their hearts heavy with grief. That night, as the villagers sat together, an elder spoke up. He was a man who had lived through many seasons and had seen much in his time. "Naomi was a special child," he said, his voice laden with sorrow. "She brought peace to our hearts, though we did not share her faith. But now, in her final moments, she spoke of the light, a light that she saw, that she believed would take her to her God. Perhaps, there is something in her faith that we have overlooked." The villagers murmured in agreement, recalling the peace and purity that surrounded Naomi whenever she recited her prayers. They decided to visit the Hossan family the next day, not just to offer their condolences, but to learn more about the faith that had given Naomi such serenity, even in death. The next morning, the entire village gathered at the Hossan household. Naomi's parents were surprised but welcomed them warmly. The village elder stepped forward, speaking on behalf of the villagers. "We have come to learn about the faith that Naomi followed so devoutly. In her life and in her passing, she showed us a peace that we do not understand, but wish to." Naomi's parents, though still grieving, were filled with hope. They began to speak of Islam, explaining the oneness of Allah, the importance of prayer, and the beauty of the Quran. They shared stories of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the teachings that had guided their lives. The villagers listened intently, their hearts open and their minds eager to understand. Over the days that followed, the villagers continued to visit, asking questions and seeking knowledge. They learned about the 5 pillars of Islam, the concept of charity, and the importance of community. Slowly, their hearts began to soften, and one by one, they embraced the faith that had given Naomi such profound peace. In time, the entire village converted to Islam, their lives transformed by the teachings they had once dismissed. They built a mosque in Naomi's memory, where the baobab tree stood, and every day, the call to prayer echoed across the savannah, a testament to the little girl whose life and death had illuminated their path to faith. Naomi Hassan's legacy lived on, not just in the memories of those who had loved her, but in the faith that now united the village. Her passing had been a catalyst, a divine sign that had guided an entire community towards the light she had seen in her final moments. And so, in a small village in Africa, under the vast expanse of the sky, the spirit of Islam flourished, nurtured by the love and innocence of a 7-year-old girl.